Hey folks, today I'm going to be taking you through this prepping data challenge with SQL. So this is week one, data source bank. So let's dive into this one. For this week one, I've copied in all those instructions here as comments, just so I can keep an eye on it, just keep it all in Snowflake here. And then I've done my first step, select star from table. So in this case, PD. This is the week one data set. I've got my data coming down here. Okay, so let's dive into this one. So step one, split the transaction code, that's this thing, so we only extract these first few letters. So you can see here that sometimes we've got 3 letters at the start, sometimes we've got 2. So we need to try and identify something to split these on, which is going to be this dash here. This is our identifier, so we can split this string using that. There's a couple of ways you can do this. Again, you might have alternative ways of doing this, but I'll show you a couple of examples. So for example, I could go for something like you do if you're used to Excel, maybe using string functions like char index will give you the position of a particular character in a string. So it wants to find that string in that column, and here we can say it's finding that dash, position 4, position 3 here. And then I could use this information to deduct a number of columns from that transaction code. So you could then go and do a left. Okay, so running that, you can see I've taken left will take the number of characters at the start of the string up until a given number. In this case, where that dash is. To get rid of the dash, I would just then do -1. Okay. There are other ways, as I say. Ignore that one. You can also do a nicer way is split. And so there's split, but there's also which will give you back an array return in Snowflake. But in this case, I want to do split part. In this case, I want to take my transaction code. I then want to split on that dash. And which part do I want to return? I want to return the first part. So I'm going to give that 1. That comma. You can see that working there. So I'm going to stick with that. That seems like the nicer solution than multiple string manipulations here. Yeah, there's probably other techniques you can do with this one. And then I was just going to give that an alias as bank for this next criteria here. See that column's been updated there. Okay, step 2. So rename the online in person field online for the values 1 and in person for values of 2. So this column we just want to say give it the text. So instead of 2 we want in person, instead of 1 we want online. So we can use a case statement to do this. So I can go case. So if I run that, you can see those columns coming back. Those numbers have been changed in that case. You could also do the term replace. I've seen this answer before. So you could replace, say in your online in person, replace 1 with say online. So you can see here you could just go and replace 1 and 2. I mean, case statement is a bit more reliable, a bit more user friendly. So I hesitate with this solution. This works if you've got 2 numbers, but in the cases where you'd say have multiple, say double digits, it would replace, say if you had 10, it would replace the first number with online and then it would have the 0 next to it. So it wouldn't be a great solution for those cases. But okay, so I'm going to stick with what I had, online in person. Okay, next one, change the date to be the day of the week. So what you'll find out this transaction code here, if you have a look in your table, like in Snowflake, I can click my table here. I can find this transaction date here is coming through as a varchar. So it's coming through as a variable character string of length 255. So it's coming through as text. So if I try any normal date functions against it, it's not going to work. It's the date of transaction date. Run that. Oh, okay. So syntax error. The reason is I haven't left a comma here, so we do comma, then that separates out that function from the next column as well. Yeah, so you get errors like this, like date is not recognized. Okay, so what can we do with this? So the issue is here that it's being picked up as text, we need to convert it to a date. So in date, it does allow you to add in a format in these cases. So you could do something like, you can pick this out as day / month / year. If I run this, I'm still going to get an error. Okay, can't pass the date. So obviously it's complaining about the timestamp section. So you may think, okay, let's go and add in hour, minute, second. And you'll still run into an issue. It can't pass as date with that format. So what's going on here is that Snowflake has a particular way of displaying hour and time that I wasn't used to. So if you change this from HH to HH24 and change to MI, okay, that now is able to pass that timestamp. Ultimately, if you found this timestamp part too annoying, you can always go and say, hey, let me just do a string operation on my transaction date, because it's already a string. Take the first 10 records and then change that into my date format. So and either way, you get that date coming back. Okay, so I've got my dates. What I actually need is that day of the week. So I need to go. The whole reason of converting this to a date was so I can lean into some of those date functions. So I'm going to pick on a function called day name, okay, which will change that to a shortened version. So you get mon, tu, when. So you get a 3-letter character. If you wanted to, you can go and convert these to add in the extra day. I'm not going to in this case. Okay, so now we've done all the operations we were asked to do in these first few sections. Now we've just got to create all these different outputs. So different levels of detail required. So let's tackle this first one. So total value of transactions by each bank. So I can just take this column bank and then sum up these different values. So I'm going to do that one. I'm going to keep all this code here and then just write a new query below it. Okay. So what I'd like to do before I do any major operations, just make sure I've got all the columns I need. So in this case, I've got the bank, I've got the value. Now I need to do that aggregation. So I'm going to go and sum value and give it a name. So give it total value. If I run this, I'm going to run into an error. This is saying your transaction code, this part here, is not valid group by expression, which means we need to go and account for this. We're aggregating this value here. SQL is just asking us what do we want to do with this other column. We want to group by this, so we need to go and put that column in a group by expression. Then our query will run. So we've got those total values for those different banks coming out nicely there. Note if you cannot put things like aliases in a group by, so if you copy and paste the alias, this won't run it as well. Okay, that's the first one. So I need total values by bank, day of the week, and transaction types. So all the columns I made earlier. Okay, run that query that those columns all come back nicely. Now I just need to do my group by. So group by, you can go and yes, copy and paste those different columns. I mean, typically I wouldn't like to do this because you'd have to copy this whole case statement, a lot of functions going on here. You can do the lazy thing and do 1, 2, 3, which will group by the first, second, and third columns. Okay, so now SQL is complaining because I've grouped by these columns, but I haven't said what I'm doing with value, so I'm aggregating it. But what do you want to do with value? Okay, of course, I want to sum it again. Give give that a name. Okay, so that has grouped us all that data together nicely there. Okay, lastly, total values by bank and customer code. Okay, so if I look back at my table, I've got it here. So I've got actually customer code column here, so I can just bring that in. So bank and customer code. Okay, so I can just copy this to start with. Okay, so I've got my bank, got my customer codes. I just need to sum this. Okay, and if I'm summing this, I need to go and put these other two columns in a group by statement. So I'll do that. Put my columns there. I'm going to get rid of this alias because it won't work. I'm going to give it a semicolon just to say that's the end of my query. So I've got those there. My bank, got my customer code, and got my total value again. I do prefer to leave group bys with the columns where possible. And if you're doing a case statement, it gets a bit messy, I would say. But these cases, someone can then come in and debug the code and work out what you were doing a bit easier than 1, 2, 3. Just personal preference, really, on that. Okay, that about wraps up for week 1's challenge. This is my code. This will be available on GitHub in the comments below. Check back next time for week 2.